Hello everyone, this is Craig Chamberlain with the PCM Tech Help Show at PCMTechHelp.com, and in this video I'm going to show you guys 10 winning strategies for the Empire Avenue online gaming, gaming and social networking software. Now, this software is incredibly powerful for those of you who haven't used it before. It's a great way to just create a huge amount of traffic into one location, but you kind of have to learn how to use it, play around with it. It's also a very fun game to play. Now, this is a culmination of a number of strategies I've developed over the past 60 days. I've been on Empire Avenue for approximately 60 days, and as you can see, I've grown my portfolio to approximately 13 million. My weekly earnings are, ignore that. My yesterday's investment earnings is 115,000 a day, so I'm up to that much in dividends. So every day I get 120,000 around there. And that's growing every day. So this strategy is a great way to not just make dividends so that you can create cool missions, but it's also a great way to build a community and meet a bunch of really cool people who participate in EAV at the same time. So I hope you guys like it, and let's go ahead and get started. Now, the first thing I have here is to set up your profile for success. Now, this is very important. If you want to create an incentive for people to invest in your profile, you have to create something that's worth following. First and foremost, your photo. Okay, your photo has to be something personal. It can't be like a logo or a brand. I did that for a while, didn't work out that well for anything I was doing. Put a picture of yourself. Feel free to put a logo up in the corner so that people know you represent something, but people invest in people. I mean, that's typically how it works with Empire Avenue. Second most important thing are your connections. As you can see, I have a large number of connections here. I don't participate in all of them. I've contemplated removing the ones I don't do very often, but wherever your strongest online media presence is, make sure you have all of them connected. One of the first things people look at when they're investing in your profile is what networks and how many networks you have connected, and then you decide if you're worth the investment or not. And of course, that's really all it takes to build a successful profile. Make sure you have a good about you right here. People do read the bios. And of course, your dividends per share are essential in the investment process as well. But we're going to talk a little bit more about that later, how to increase that. So that's setting up your profile for success. When somebody comes to your profile, looks at it, and they say, wow, this guy looks interesting, they'll invest in you. It doesn't take a whole lot of incentive, but it should be something. Also, make your ticker simple. Don't make it complicated. Don't make it hard to spell. Don't make it fancy. Something very simple that might stick into their heads over the long period of time. Now, the second thing here is we want to earn revenue. I mean, many of you are new users. A lot of you who are veteran users won't find this very appealing, but when you're first starting out, the most important way to make revenue is through missions. Now, let's go ahead and select missions up here at the top, and you're going to need perform missions in order to earn revenue. Now, you might not have all the same missions I have. A lot of them I have because I'm an investor in a lot of people's. But the most important thing for missions is this is a great opportunity to connect with the people who are also on EAV. Now, these people have enough wealth on EAV to create missions, which means that they also have enough wealth to invest in you. So it's in your vested interest to do everything that the mission says, because that way they know that you are a real person, first of all, and that you're not going to abscond them or go behind their back and do what you don't want them to do. So read the title first of the mission. If it looks like something you would actually do, then actually perform the mission. And once you've clicked on the mission to perform the mission, scroll down, make sure you like the mission. If you actually did, you do it and liked it, because people, appreciate that feedback. And then down here, make sure you leave some kind of a comment saying, hey, I did it. Appreciate the opportunity to do the mission. Check me out. Don't self-promote. Just say, very interesting article. Take the time to actually do the mission. I know it seems like it's a waste of time, but but honestly, this is how you're going to make real connections with people. Now, once you've done that, if you want to take this a step further, you can click on their profile and then leave an actual comment on their profile, and that way you can, down here, if you're an investor, you can leave a comment on their profile, say, hey, checked out your mission, really liked it. These are the kinds of things that draw people into you, okay? These are the kinds of things that draw traffic into your profile, which will obviously yield long-term results. Now, we also went to missions here, as you saw, and that's a great way to build wealth. These are pure profit. This is the #1 most profitable way to make EVEs. If you take your time with it, you'll really make a lot of money doing it this way. It's not going to give you residual income, but that's what the dividends per yield are later. So, great way to make money so that you can do future investments. So building money, obviously right out of the box, is the most important part so that you can invest in stocks. Now after that, that's 3 tips we have here. No, that was 2 so far. Now we're going to do sell low yield stocks. I got a little checklist over here. That's why I keep looking over there. We're going to sell low yield stocks. Now there's a number of ways you can do this. Yield, it sounds complicated, but it's not. All yield is it's, I actually have a bad yield, to be honest with you. All yield is your share price here, that compared to your dividends per share, okay? What you want is, you want to get as close to 1 or above as possible, which means for every 115 in my share price, my optimal dividends per share is 1.15 per share. Okay, that would be a 1.00 yield. So the great thing about investing in people who have a high yield is that you know every dollar you spend on a share is going to yield a good amount of daily dividends. Sounds complicated, not as complicated when you have the right tools. So what we want to do is we want to sell off the people so that we're building money first, okay? We're going to sell off the people we've invested in that have a low yield, which means we have a bunch of money invested in them, and we're not getting a lot of money back for that money. So we're going to sell those people, assuming we don't know them. We don't sell people we know. We're going to sell those people, and we're going to turn around and invest it in a wiser investment. Now, a lot of people think this is unethical, but it really depends on your approach to it. The reason I don't believe it's unethical is because you're giving those people who have low performance rating an incentive to build up their yield. Say, listen, you're real popular, a lot of people are interested in you, you should really be more active. To me, the yield is a representation of how active they should be because they have that many people interested in them. So it's kind of an incentive for them to keep doing that. Now, I use this tool, empireav.net. Now, I paid for the pro subscription. Let me see what the actual regular subscription includes. I think it has a limitation. The free plan has the API calls per hour only 150. That's why I upgraded. So for the free one, you guys can get pretty much everything, to be honest with you. Their support is fantastic. I've asked them a number of questions. So check this place out. I went into the pro. I probably didn't even need it, but I kind of supported it and I was a fan of it. So what you do here is you go to, first you set up your profile. And when you first get to this page, you want to load your portfolio data and then select load. And this will pull up all the most recent information on your portfolio so that you can kind of get started here on checking your portfolio stocks for low yield stocks that you want to sell. And then of course you want to, on the right hand side, refresh your website. Then up at Stock Finder, go ahead and select that. We are interested in our portfolio stocks. So these are ones I've already invested in. You can only really sell 10 at a time. So you'll say display 10, and we're going to order by dividend yield. And we're going to say ascending, so lowest to highest. We want to see the lowest yield. Now this is really important here. A lot of people don't take this into account. I don't want to look at low yield stocks that haven't been on the market for a certain amount of time. In other words, I want to give them a little bit of time from the time I invested them to actually build up their portfolio. So I'm going to say I'm going to join before, and I usually give them 4 days. All right, they got 4 days to establish a good yield. And say, right now it's the 19th, so I'll say I want them to have joined before 5/14/2012, and then click search. Now on the right hand side here, I'll see my yield. As you can see, I have an established yield of 0.85, or I know you, okay? So if you have a lower than 0.85 yield, I typically sell you unless I know you personally. So on the left hand side, all I need to do is if all these people in the yield category here, you see that yield bar? If they're all below my established yield, personally I chose 0.85. If you're brand new, you might want to go something more aggressive like a 0.9. If they're lower than that, I check the box on the left hand side. See how I did that? And then you click the transaction agent. And this nice little transaction agent comes up. You can just click sell all shares and complete transaction. It'll automatically dump all of them. And you do this for all of the stocks that you're invested in that have a low yield, and magically all of your wealth will grow substantially, assuming you've actually invested in people. Now this is a great way to actually build up some wealth to invest into some higher yield stocks. Now I know it seems complicated, but again, all we've really done so far is set up a profile for success. We've done some missions to build some wealth, and now we're selling our low yield stocks to build even more wealth. And now we're going to do the thing where we actually invest in people who are going to, be worth it to invest rather than these low yield. So let's go ahead and go back to our profile here. Now, Dr. Diedrich, by the way, this is one of the things that I got to mention here. This guy right here, he developed a website. It's awesome. dr-diedrich.ee/eav/topnew.html. This shows all the top newcomers. Okay. He also has a tool here where you can buy and sell. But this is where we're going to actually do our first buying here. So go to this website. Okay, so now we've built up all of our wealth. We're going to go to this website. We're actually going to invest in all the top newcomers. Now, for beginning users, you usually want to invest in these guys right here. These are the top people from yesterday or the 2 days before that are the top players since they just started, and they're going to cost the least, and they're going to yield the biggest best results right out of the box. If you've invested all these people, you're going to want to go down here and then invest in these ones. Now, there's some things you should follow when you're investing in these newcomers. And what I like to do is create a welcome message. I don't like to just blankly invest in them, not let them know that I invested in them. They're the top newcomer. I'm going to send them a little message. So go ahead and open up your notepad on your computer and create a nice little welcome badge. Say, plus 200 since you're investing fully in their new profile. I look forward to following your profile. Good luck. And maybe tell a little bit about yourself. I'm Craig. I do videos, tutorials, and all that. Check out my website and put a little link there. And make sure you put in their name. How are you, Craig? Because you can't paste the same message to everybody. EAV will yell at you, Empire Avenue. So copy that message, and then here's a little trick here a lot of you might not know about. I open up this top newcomer page. If you hold down Control and click on each person, it'll open up their profile in a new tab on your browser. Look in the upper right hand corner here. I just zoomed in. You can actually then at this point just click Invest, choose the amount you want to invest, and select Invest. And then you'll paste your welcome message. How are you, Andrew? I look forward to following your profile. Good luck. And click Publish. And that's it. You do that for every single profile on here. So you're investing, you're engaging, and you're making sure you're investing in sound investments right out of the box. So this is a good way to kind of get yourself started. And you want to invest in all of these top newcomers right out of the box. And then once you've invested in all the top newcomers here at the top, then down here are the brand new people. Now this refreshes all day long. Okay, so early in the morning, probably before 6 a.m. Eastern time, you're going to actually see a huge list. Okay, that's all the newcomers from yesterday, and you can invest in all of them. Now, the reason investing in brand new people is good is because their ticker price starts really low, and then you get the money on the difference. So you invest all of them right at the beginning. So on the very first day, you invest in them. And I recommend only investing people who have 2 networks connected in a profile picture, but you invest in all of them right when they started, and then in 4 days, if their dividend yield has dropped below your amount, your 0.85, then you sell them. But you've made all the money on that width between it. You follow what I'm saying? So I hope that makes sense to you guys. I tried not to overcomplicate it too much, but that's it. We created a custom message. That was tip number 5, and then we've invested in all these newcomers. Now, if you still have money, which I'll be surprised if you do if you're a newcomer, but if you're not, then we want to look into actually creating a custom message for those who are high yield guys, much like this one. So press enter a couple times and say plus 200. Wow, you're awesome. You are one of the best performers on EAV, right? Say Craig. You're don't do all capitals. People will get annoyed. So then you copy that message, and since we've invested in all the newcomers, now we're interested in investing in the highest yield. So at the same page that we were just at, okay, select this mature player buying recommendations, and that'll bring up the most popular, the most active users, I guess is the way to put it. And once the most active users come up, we're actually going to still invest in the highest yield stocks. So rather than just investing in these people blanketly, we are going to sort by yield, and then we're going to sort descending this time. We want to see the highest yield. We want to see the most active and smartest investments we can make, and we're going to say run query. And this will actually return a result of all the best performers on EAV. These are a lot more expensive to invest in. So if you've already invested in all the top newcomers for the day, you've already invested in, you've already sold all your low yield stocks, and you've got some money left over, which you probably don't in most cases if you're new, but if you do, then you want to start doing the exact same thing with these guys. And they're the high yield ones. So again, you can hold down Control, press the button, and go down through all of them. And then at that point, you can invest them, paste your custom message, and then you are good to go. You've bought all the high yield stocks. Now, this will result in higher daily dividends. So tomorrow morning when you log in, you're going to get more money for that day in daily dividends. You do this every day as many times as you can, and that's probably one of the best things you can do. So we're on tip number 6 now. We just bought all the high yield stocks. So let's go on to 7. You want to increase your yield to make you more incentive. This dividends per share here. Now Empire Avenue, if you click on this, you'll notice that they make a big deal out of posts such as Twitter, Facebook, Flickr, and YouTube throughout the day. So what you want to do is if you have these networks connected, be active on them as much as you possibly can. So stay connected. That's this next tip. And when you're connected to all these, make sure you're active on them. You're engaging with people, you're sharing content, you're publishing new content, you're doing everything you can to kind of become part of these networks. That'll increase your dividends per share, which will also increase your overall ticker value. Okay, so that's a great thing to have as well. For tip number 7, we're going to create winning missions. Okay, missions are kind of a tricky thing. People don't really realize the importance or the trick to it. It's keep it simple. Okay, don't make complicated missions. When you, I think you have to have a ticker value of at least 50 in order to create missions, but keep it very simple when you're creating your missions. Okay, make it something simple like one-click retweet, and always put how much they're going to get. Personally, I think if you're making a mission, you should have it at least be 500 EVs per action. So if they're going to have to click on the mission link and then make one click, that should be 500. If they're going to have to click twice, it should be 1,000. If they're going to have to click 3 times, make it 1,500. For every single click after the mission link, give them 500 bucks. Always put the amount in the mission because it shows up on the right sidebar of the missions. People will know how much your mission is worth. For your mission type, obviously, go to a URL. If you can, make it as few clicks as possible on the destination, so bring them directly to the page you want the action on. YouTube's always a good idea because you can be a little more accountable, so you can actually do subscribe, so they have to subscribe in order to get paid. And then, of course, in your description, just give them very clear instructions. Say, 1, click on the mission link. 2, click the like button. 3, take your money. That's it. You know, make it so simple that they look at it like, sweet, boom, out of here. You'll create a reputation for doing that, and more people will do your missions, which is what you want. You know, these are the incentives that you're making. Okay, so that's creating winning missions. Okay, you want to make sure you can do that on Empire Avenue. Now, another thing is work with a successful community. In particular, I do the Facebook community. I was invited to it. You might want to request an invite if you're interested in learning more. But if you go to Empire Avenue Investments, you want to look for this gentleman, Kosta Montoya. He's the manager of this particular group. You can find him on Empire Avenue. That's at STREETELF. He's right here. Okay, and if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be able to do 90% of what I can do now. I was able to develop the strategy because of this guy and his consultations. He's very, very nice, very forthcoming with information, very friendly, and he also is more than happy to invest in people who are active. So make sure you send this guy a request, invest in him. Say you came from me. Send this guy a request, and then and for the friend Facebook group, I'm sorry, and I'm sure he'll be more than happy to invite you. He's always looking for more people anyway. So check that out. Make sure you join an active community. Now, there are other communities in Empire Avenue you can participate in. They will help your ticker value. And you can do those. I'm not big on those because people only like spam on them. It drives me crazy. So lastly, we are going to repeat daily. Okay, we've done all of them. All right, let's start from the top. We're doing set up your profile for success, if you remember that one. We earn revenue, then we earn our revenue with missions. Then we earn more revenue by selling our low yield stocks. Then we take that revenue and we create a custom welcome message and invest in all the newcomers. And we post on every single newcomer we invest in about ourselves, and we give them, a welcome message and everything like that. Then we create a custom message towards the big performers on EA. Then we go to the website and we find out the big performers. We invest the rest of our money in those folks. Okay? And then after we've done that, then we make sure that we're active on all of our existing networks we're connected on. We create winning missions that are successful, have higher yield conversion rates, and then we participate in a successful community so we can continue to ask questions and move on. Repeat daily. I'd say you dedicate a half hour to an hour of this a day, you will be killing on Empire Avenue. I've been doing really well on it, and I'm still adjusting my strategy as I go. If you have any questions, make sure to swing by my website. That's at pcmichiana.com or pcmtechhelp.com, and you can swing by the forum there, post a message. You can also invest in me or send me a personal shareholder message. I'll reply to that. So make sure you follow my videos on YouTube. Here's my website right here. And stay tuned. There's plenty more videos to come. This one obviously went a little long, but hey, there's a lot to being awesome on Empire Avenue. Wow, that sounded a little conceited, didn't it? So stay tuned, and I'll hear from you guys soon.